Hello everyone, welcome to Clickheads. I'm Eddie the Chump, and today we've got a great news video for you. Firstly, Shroud has announced that he's coming back to Twitch, which is not only great news for his fans, but also Valorant as a game, as he's sure to bring even more eyes to the game when he enters the frankly already popping Twitch directory. Great viewing figures for the Faze Ignition Invitational, with an especially great final between NA's two best teams, TSM and Sentinels. Team Liquid's former Counter-Strike in-game leader Nitro reportedly looking to go pro in Valorant, and an amazing life-size replica of the Phantom that a user called Domco92 submitted to Reddit. There's quite a lot to get through, so let's just crack on. So first things first, the very famous and beloved former CS pro Shroud has announced that he's returning to Twitch. Shroud, as some of you may already know, left Twitch to go to Mixer for big money. Now that Mixer has folded and most of its talent moved on to Facebook, some big names have decided not to follow, Ninja and Shroud in particular. Now why is this big news for Valorant? Well, Shroud is perhaps the most beloved of all the former Counter-Strike pro streamers, garnering for himself a massive Twitch audience before he left. He has also, just like Ninja, been maining Valorant largely, with his streams and YouTube views for the game going through the roof. Essentially, Shroud's return will be a massive attention grabber for the stream audience as a whole on the internet, and if he makes Valorant his main game, at least in the short term, the game will have its audience grown massively. Now we obviously hope that he does do that. We're all Shroud fans here on the channel, and obviously fans of Valorant, and we welcome anything that can help the game grow and flourish in the tac shooter ecosystem. Just as a point of reference, Shroud's announcement video for his Twitch return has already reached 1 million views in just a few hours. By the time he streams, which will be 11 AM PST tomorrow, that number will be even higher. I can't wait for it. I'll be in the chat. Shroud's stream link is in the description. If you aren't already following him, go and do it now. Tomorrow is going to be very hype indeed. Moving on from Shroud, let's just have a quick conversation about how well Valorant eSports is doing right now. Peak Twitch viewership for the Faze Ignition Event at the weekend reached upwards of 140,000 viewers depending on your metrics, with Slasher also noting that such numbers so early are a great sign for the future of competitive Valorant. There are a few reasons for this. Having a super dramatic final that goes into overtime doesn't hurt, but primary among them is the instant and spicy rivalry between the NA region's two best teams that took part, TSM and Sentinels. Now for a bit of context, both squads feature quite a few former NA CSGO pros, including Wardell, Subrosa, Shazam, Cutler, Hayes, Dapper and Sick, etc. There is pre-existing beef between some of these players from that scene, and it has transferred over to Valorant now that both teams have established themselves as the alpha teams in NA. In fact, Sentinels have been getting the better of TSM for quite a while recently, and it seems that this has fired TSM to keep grinding and anti-stratting Sentinels in return, with this weekend's victory over the Sentinels squad particularly sweet for their in-game leader Hayes, who has been called everything from a boomer to a dad or just plain old in the trash talk that flows freely between the two sets of players. Hayes popped off in this tournament and gives other fellow boomers hope, having, as he put it, put the kids in their place at the ripe old age of 31, which to be fair is ancient for a competitive player in this kind of game. I thank you, Hayes. You're helping define the dad meta, and that gives me hope that I can in fact get out of Diamond someday. The side effect of this great rivalry is that the sophistication of Valorant as a competitive game is driven even higher, with Sean Gares and DDK saying the finals were the best series of Valorant thus far. Having two teams push each other out of genuine mutual dislike is the best case scenario for esports fans, and they are taking the idea of how Valorant should be played into a better future. While they're at it, they're also driving viewership up beyond competitors who are much more established, like the Overwatch League as just an example. It's a great time to be a fan of Valorant esports, and the best part is, it's only just beginning. Now moving on, if you follow, say, CSGO as well as Valorant, which isn't unreasonable, we do here on this channel, you will probably know that Team Liquid have just replaced their longest serving player, Nitro, with Grim. Nitro was the in-game leader for Team Liquid when they went on their historic run in the last few years, and his departure has been met with a mixed reaction. Grudging acknowledgement that he has perhaps done all he can in that game, and that Team Liquid need fresh blood for Stewie 2K to lead them into the future with. This, however, provides Nitro with the opportunity to move into Valorant, which according to respected esports journalist Fion on Fire is exactly what he's looking to do. Now this has been a pattern at the beginning of Valorant's pro scene, former CSGO pros in particular, who might be past their prime a little bit in that game, coming to Valorant in the hopes of making it again. When you look at TSM and Sentinels rosters doing so well, who can blame them? Nitro will be able to offer experience and firepower to developing Valorant rosters, with perhaps 100 Thieves being an ideal place for him so that he can rescue his old teammate Hiko from having to try and teach his roster while playing at the same time. That's pure conjecture, obviously, but I can see it being a good match, especially if Nitro is also looking to call for his teams in Valorant like he adapted to do in CSGO for Team Liquid. He's obviously newer to this game than CS, but having so much experience there is definitely an advantage while the Valorant scene is still so new. You'll have to let me know how you feel about that in the comment section down below. Where do you think Nitro should end up? Next up is a pretty popular Reddit thread talking about removing the RNG from assault rifle sprays and taps. I bring this up because it's been a point of community discussion recently, and I have some pretty strong personal feelings about the subject. The Vandal's first shot inaccuracy has, in my opinion, been an issue since the beginning of the game. Riot have made it clear that they have made it this way so that other weapons have enough room in the combat sandbox to actually be useful. The Vandal is not meant to be as good as, say, the Guardian at long range. Okay, I can understand that point of view, but here's the problem. The Guardian is too expensive for that role, because in nobody's mind would they pick the Guardian over a Vandal or a Phantom unless they couldn't afford the latter. Playing in this super specific range dependent way is something that you most commonly see on half buys or saves. The short range version would be the shorty on an almost full save, playing close angles in the hope of catching someone off guard. On a full buy, you are going to pick your choice of the Vandal or Phantom or the Op, because the automatic ARs are just more reliable in more situations than a Guardian, even if you do place that weapon's strengths. It's just limited, and because of that, players won't buy it. Pros don't even use the Vandal hardly at all. 99% of pro matches are just Phantom fests, which is fine, but a big reason for that is because it's just a better weapon in more circumstances than the Vandal. Nobody is going to use the Guardian because it's accurate. They're going to use it because it's cheap. So it's not in functional competition with the other ARs, even if Riot do have it in conceptual competition. Buff the Vandal first shot, and while we're at it, can spraying be just a little bit better? I know Riot want players to choose the right firing mode and all that, but it's just so impractical at times. If a team burst executes on you and you get peeked by multiple people at once, say you kill the first guy and try to transfer to the second, you're most likely dead. I think that is nonsense. What are you supposed to do? Keep cool under pressure and just tap each person? That's not practical to expect players to be able to do that. I understand that the gunplay shouldn't all be about learning recoil patterns, etc., but that is also way overblown. The best, and I mean the very best, most elite CSGO pros could spray, say, the M4A4 at any range against multiple opponents, but the idea that everyone could or did do that is frankly rubbish. What we have now is just a hard cap to what you can do when outnumbered. Actually, that's not quite true. You're not capped, you're just relying on something that is designed to be unreliable, which is worse in my opinion. I'm not asking for full clip fixed recoil patterns, just a little bit better spray. If we are going to pretend that everyone should just tap and burst in these hectic scenarios, can we at least get quicker recoil reset values on the main rifles? I refuse to believe I'm the only player that feels this way. If you agree, let me hear in the comments. Lastly, I just wanted to bring something fun to the video, which is this full-size replica of the Valorant Phantom being posted to Reddit by Domco92. This was apparently constructed by 3D printing from the in-game models, which still blows my mind that that's even possible. He streamed a lot of its construction too, and make sure to check out his Twitch by clicking on the link in the description. I'm just so impressed that people have the knowledge and drive to make such cool things materialize in the real world. From the video, DomTV hasn't chosen a paint job yet, so let me know what skin you'd most like to have a replica of. For the standard Phantom model, I'd go for the blue metallic prism skin myself. Think about this though, if you can make these from in-game models, where's our fully articulating Elder Flame Vandal fam? I want a real pet dragon, damn it. In all seriousness, if DomTV sold replicas, I would actually pick one up for myself, just a thought. If Riot would allow that anyway, but that's another conversation entirely. And that's about it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this news video. If you like the content on this channel, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you get notified when we upload. Also, please check out our Facebook stream. We're no-lifing Valorant over there, and it would be great to see some of you in the chat. Until next time!